Welcome back to Money Makes. My name is Callie and today we are going to be making pecan pies. So now that the holidays are officially upon us, it is crucial that we all have a delicious pecan pie recipe in our baking repertoires, and this one is going to be in yours. It is so delicious, it is so simple to make, and you are absolutely going to love it. So let's get right into it, but before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe, like, share, chat in the comment section, and follow me on social media for more recipes and additional content. So let's get right into it. These are the ingredients that we are going to be using. I have a few eggs, I have some light corn syrup, dark corn syrup, I have some pecans, chopped pecans. You could chop them even finer than this. It's just a personal preference, but I like the pecans kind of small. I just don't really like biting into a whole one, but whatever you want to do. I have some vanilla, flour, cinnamon, salt, melted butter, and of course we're gonna need pie dough, and we will talk about that in a minute. So first off, get your oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and let's do this. First things first, this is so simple. I cannot stress that enough. Literally all we're going to do is add all of the ingredients together and give them a stir. All of the ingredients besides the pecans. We'll add those to the top of the pie before it goes in the oven. So I have my eggs here, and this, I'm just gonna toss in some salt, of course. You always wanna be adding salt to your baked goods. I'm gonna throw in the flour, cinnamon, vanilla, butter, and light and dark corn syrup. And I'm just gonna give it a toss, like I said. Okay, this looks wonderful. So next up, I'm gonna clean up and then let's get going on the pie dough. Okay, so we're back. Here I have some chilled pie dough. This is my pie dough recipe that I already have a pie dough recipe tutorial video for on my YouTube channel. I will link that video in the description box below. Go ahead and check that out. I go really in depth on how to make this pie dough, which is delicious. It's flaky, it's buttery, and it is so incredibly simple to make. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't want to use my recipe, you can of course use whatever recipe you'd like. You can buy even, store-bought pie crust, whatever you want to do, but I highly recommend using mine. I know you're gonna love it. So let's get right into it. First things first, like I said, and I go over this in the video, this pie dough is straight out of the refrigerator. I just grabbed it, so if it seems a little kind of hard right now, that's because it is, because it's really chilled, and that's exactly how you want any pie dough that you use to be, because you want that butter to remain intact in large pieces, because that's what's gonna make the pie dough really, really nice and flaky. So I'm gonna set this aside for just a quick second, and I'm gonna spread some flour quite generously all over my work surface, like so. So here I have a not a 9 by 13 inch pan, just a regular pie pan that I buttered. You wanna make sure that's nice and buttered so nothing sticks. And like I said, my oven's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I'm gonna roll out this pie dough, and you just wanna roll out the pie dough, I don't measure it, just to be larger than your pie dish, okay? It doesn't need to be the exact same measurement every time you roll it. So here we go. I'm gonna flour the top along with the rolling pin, of course, and I'm just gonna roll this out, and then once it's rolled out, we'll continue. Okay, so this looks great, and I do want to point out, I hope you can see on video just these like large and small pieces of butter scattered all over the pie dough, and that is the data you need that is going to let you know that this is going to be a flaky pie dough. And flaky pie dough is essential to a really great pie dough, so I really encourage you to check out my recipe. Okay, so I have my pie pan here, and all I'm going to do is just place the pie into the pan, like so. Easy enough. Just kind of let it hang over the side, press it in, really simply like so. Hope I didn't just poke some holes in the bottom with my nails. If so, that's okay. Okie dokie. Now, what I'm gonna do is just pour the mixture into the bottom, like so. So people kind of do this in various ways as far as adding the pecans to pecan pie. I think the best way to add the pecans is to scatter them over the top. And the reason for that is because I find that way makes the pecans much more kind of roasty, toasty, and they just have an overall better flavor than, some people kind of put a layer of pecans at the bottom of the pie. And I mean, that's great too. There's no right or wrong way to do anything in cooking, of course. But this, I think, is just the method that I prefer. I feel like I said, they get really nice and toasted, and they're just so delicious. You know, you don't get that if the pecans are at the bottom of the pie or just scattered throughout the batter. So to me, this is kind of a no-brainer. So I'm just gonna add all of these pecans over the top, and then we'll finish up. Okay, so as you can see here, I just transferred the pie on top of an aluminum foil lined baking sheet, and the reason for that is because if by any chance some of this filling spills over into your oven, you're gonna have a giant mess on your hands, so don't skip this step. It's really just gonna help you out. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim up some of this excess pie dough, and you know, you can do this with scissors or a knife. So just trim some of it here. If you find that you need some areas that to get patched up, if you have any kind of large cracks, this is the time to use that excess pie dough to kind of repair some of the pie. I am not worried about this pie looking perfect at all, ever. That's not my style. This channel is a home cooking channel and things do not have to be perfect. Sometimes the best recipes are imperfect, they're rustic, and that's exactly what this is gonna be. So how I'm gonna crimp the crust, I mean, there's multiple ways, but this excess pie dough, I just tuck it underneath, like so, and I'll just show you in a piece here. I take my pointer finger and I stick my pointer finger and my thumb, I make this kind of motion to make just a really simple crimp, like so. Or you could just tuck the dough under, leave it as is, or you could take a fork and make that kind of crimping pattern as well. So I'm just gonna finish crimping this and then we'll pop this in the oven. Okay, so next up what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'm gonna remove the pie from the oven and cover it loosely with aluminum foil. And then I'm gonna bake it for another 40 minutes. And the reason why we're gonna take it out halfway through, or almost halfway through cooking, to top it with aluminum foil is because this is gonna help prevent anything from burning in the oven. So it's very important that you, again, pop this in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, take it out, cover it with aluminum foil, put it back in the oven for about 40 minutes. And then once this pie is done baking, I'm gonna let it cool, and then I'm gonna give you a close-up of just how absolutely incredible it truly is. Recipe and instructions, head to my blog mooneymakesrecipes.com. I'll put the link for that in the description box below. Click on the link, the recipe will come right up, and make this pecan pie. I promise you're gonna love it, and let me know what you think because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye bye.